Hi everyone. This is the fourth video that I'll do looking at using Respondus, which is a software which you're able to download and post a test. That's a Word or a text document that if you don't have a test bank, but you maybe created one or you maybe have a paper version of it. So what I'm going to start with, I think, let's see. I'm going to go here, Employee Portal. Now in the Employee Portal, when you get there, you can go to the Faculty toolbar here at the top. It's a bit of a wiggly way around to get to things. However, over here it says Respondus. Now, Respondus is the software that you'll need to use to upload a paper test or a digital test that you've created into Blackboard to be used to create a test, whether that's a test pool or an individual test of a limited size. But you can't just put it into Blackboard. Respondus is the software you need. So if you click on Respondus, you'll get to this site here where it's really important that you read everything carefully. There's the two pieces that you'll need to download. That's the licensing code you'll need. There's instructions right here on how to do it. Now, this may not suit everybody, and I appreciate that. There is a Respondus tip sheet. If you click here, you get a tip sheet on basically what is needed to do the installation and the format for the different questions, and it walks you through step by step. So I would really recommend considering reviewing that before using the software. Excuse me. However, it's a handy software when it works well, and it often does, and there's your contact for some support. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to get back to my shell. I'm going to minimize this. Now, this is what you're going to have, this link here. Respondus 4.0 campus-wide is what will be your link. So you double click, and it's going to pull up a software that enables, and it wants to do that, and I don't want it to. So you have some options here. Now, because we have a digital version of a test bank, we want to import questions. Now, it does give you other options, but my only familiarity is with importing my own tests that I might want to have created my own test bank. So if you have created, or sometimes publishers don't give a test bank, but they might give a paper version of tests questions from each chapter, in which case you could use them, or you can use them as a guide and create your own. At any rate, you have sorry, I touched something. It will give you the option of creating the test, and then you might want to, okay, well, how do I get that test into Blackboard? Here's how we'll do it. We're going to import questions. Now, it will import under different terms, that is, different formats. Rich text, plain text, in a Word doc, different versions. Now I know the test that I made was in a docx, so I'm going to click that. Now you have to go find it, and I'm going to use this test right here. Then I open it because I know it's a docx. Now I'm not just, I'm creating a new document, and I have to give it a name. So I'm going to call this test 2, because I think I already got a test 1. Now, I'm going to show you something here that I can't explain, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. You have to click on preview, which is fine. It gives you a chance to preview your questions to make sure they're the ones you wanted. But it will always, in my experience, give me warnings that certain questions are duplicate questions or there's problems with questions, and yet I've never seen a problem with the questions. I've gone over and over the questions, and I don't see where there's a formatting error or a duplication that seems to be indicated here. And I haven't had complaints from students about such issues, so I'm not sure what to say about these warnings and notes. However, I tend to ignore them. I will go Finish. Now, it will prompt me saying the file has been saved. Okay, so we're going to click OK. I have an alternative time here where I can go in and preview the question, edit the question, delete the question. I can click on it to see the question. There's the question. There's the answers. B is correct. So I can say, you know what, I'm happy with that. I don't have any problems. And that's kind of what I did with all the questions, and I didn't see where there was a problem. So here I am. I'm happy with everything I've got here. I know this is the file that I created. Now I'll show you quickly. I have said that it needs to be in a particular format. Now here's that test. And if you notice, it's very basic. One dot space the question, no formatting, zero formatting, A dot space childhood schizophrenia. Now B is the correct answer, and the way that you designate correct answers for Respondus is an asterisk, the letter B dot space neurodevelopmental disorder, then C dot space form of intellectual disability, and then D dot space savant syndrome. So the correct answer is B, no formatting, one space, next question. That's the entire formatting for multiple choice. One space between questions, don't go two. One space between the dot and the first letter of the answer question, one space between the dot and the first question. Nothing fancy. Exactly the same every question. Okay? Now that tip sheet will give you tips on how to do it for multiple choice and how to do it for true and false. So if I'm happy with my questions and I have no additions or changes or alterations that I want to make, I go directly into Preview and Publish. Now, it's saying I can preview the file. Well, I sort of already have. So I'm going to go into Publish. Now, whether you're logged into Blackboard or not, the publishing wizard will want to do that. Now, I'm going to publish this test into a single course. Now, you could, if you had, say, 2 or 3 sections of the same course, batch publish into those 3 courses because they're all going to get the same test. But I'm only doing that, published into one course. Now, if you note what I have here in my Blackboard server and the settings, this is essentially what you're going to want in yours. Now, it might not be the same. You can go into Edit Settings or email the EdTech support there, and they would provide some help. So you go Next, because I basically said I want it to go into one single course. Now it's logging into my Blackboard. It's agreed to, yes, I understand. Now it's logged in. I have a choice. I can cancel or close after login. I'm going to close after login. And then bing, bang, bong. There we go. Choose a course I want to publish in. Well, I want to publish it. I'm going to put it into my developmental shell down here. Now here's the thing that you're not putting in a test. Otherwise, I'm putting in a test of multiple questions that looks like more like a pool. I'm creating a pool. Now, if you did create an exam of limited questions, your test is out of 50, you're loading 50 questions, then you would do that, test 2 question or exam. But I'm creating a pool, so I'm going to be calling it test 2, and it's a pool. Random blocks to the exam, yes. Apply settings, yes. So next. Now it's going to load these questions into my developmental shell. And we're going to go to my developmental shell when it's done and go to the control panel and then look for the test surveys and pools and check in pools, and it should be there. So we're going to minimize this and we're going to see if, oh, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. It's telling me uploaded questions completed successfully. Okay, we're finished. I will minimize. I will now go to my Blackboard shell and we're going to scroll down, go into Course Tools, scroll down to Test Surveys and Pools. We're going to go into Pools, and there's Test 2. 128 questions, which is what was in it. I can, as before, check inside, and there they are. I'm happy with what I have, so I'm going to say OK. So now that I have my Test 2 there in a pool, and that's maybe only going to be a quiz because I've only got 128, but then I could always add additional questions. Perhaps I would use one of my test banks, or I have another test bank I could pull in through Respondus. I now, whoops, sorry, I dragged my fingers, go to my weekly learning, and we'll do the same sort of thing we did before. We're going to do a test, and we're going to create a new test because we haven't done it. We just brought a pool in. We're going to call it Test 2. We'll give whatever description and instructions that we want. Submit. We're going to reuse and make a random block just like we did before, but now we're going to select Test 2, the one I imported. And I know they're all multiple choice, so I'm going to choose all pool questions. And there they are, 128. So now I can go OK. And this is exactly where we were before when we did a pool. I can change this to 1 just as we did before. Say the test will be, the quiz is going to be out of 25, so I've got about a 5 to 1 chance of it having a duplicate question, and I'm going to go OK. And now I'm going to say yes, I will link to that one. I'm in my test canvas. I'm creating a test. Now I'm going to put open into a new window. No. Make available to students. Yes, this looks familiar from the last. I'm going to create an announcement. In this case, I'm doing a forced completion. So there's no need to select the best attempt. They're getting one shot at it at one time of the week, at one time of the day. It'll be, we'll throw it on at, let's come to February 18. At 8 it will open. And it's going to go until February 18 at 8 at night. Give students a chance who might be having a busy day and or having some work to have a full 12 hours to do the test. Or I could limit that to the 3 hours. You know, I could say 3 hours only, and that's the force of the test. But I've given them 12 hours to do one test. Let's see. I'll set a timer for 1 hour. And I'll put that on. So now they've got 12 hours to do a test that's going to last 1 hour, that once they start, they've got to stay at it and complete it. At 1 hour, it shuts off. That 1 hour of time will be available on the 18th from 8 until 8. If I have any students with accommodations, I can add the extra half hour to their test here. Add these calculations. If I have any feedback I want to provide, I could do that. I can again do either all at once or these, and I want to randomize the questions. I come down here. There is test 2. Now, essentially what happens, I didn't show this in the last video, but when the student gets this test, they just click on it, and the instructions will be up here. You click Begin to start, and you click Cancel to go back. There will be a timer that will come up for students. They just click to begin, and the first test question comes up. It says that warnings will appear at the half time, 5 minutes, 1 minute, and 30 seconds to remain. They have 1 hour to do this test. So they look at the question, they give it an answer. I'm just going to arbitrarily choose, save the answer, and submit. Oops, save and submit for the test, I'm sorry. So I just want question 1 of 1. There was only one question. I made a, okay. Sorry. If I had put more questions in and set it to do for more questions, I would have. I neglected to do that. So that is the test. 1 question. But if I had put it in for more than that, of course, it would do more than that. Okay. I know I don't have, we're going to go okay. So it gives this is essentially what the student would see. And I got 0. Oh, disappointing. All right. I hope that's been helpful. Please, if you do choose to use Respondus, I can be of some help to you. However, if it's a technical glitch regarding the connectivity of the software to your Blackboard shell, that is something I would really recommend you use that EdTech support email link. That's going to be your best resource. Okay? I hope that's helpful. If there's anything else you need me to put up as an orientation or a tutorial, please let me know and I'll be happy to do that. Thank you. Bye now.